morning, everybody. Welcome back to Greenbriar Urban Gardens. My name is Nanette, for those of you just joining us, and for the ones that have been with us for a while, I thank you for your continued support. I thought since it's been quite some time since I've done a video, I would take just a few minutes and kind of do a reintroduction of myself, um, some of the things that we're doing here in the garden, as well as what our mission is. So, first, for myself, I have lived in Arizona predominantly my entire life. I grew up here, actually, where I live now. I grew up just about 5 or 6 blocks away from here. So this is definitely home for me. I have been married to my husband for 35 years. Actually, this past May has been 35 years. And he was born and raised here. So we're very familiar with growing and gardening in the low desert. We have always done a little bit of dabbling in gardening as our kids were younger. We never did it to the capacity that we are at now, but we've always had something that we would try to grow. If it was in containers, if it was just a small bed, if it was, we've done a pallet garden that my husband put together for my daughter when she moved out. We've done cinder block gardening. So there's a lot of different things that we've tried over the years. So as we fast forward to about 2013 now, we bought this house, and this house had not had any really TLC for many, many years. The entire front yard and backyard were just complete dirt. The front yard did have a sprinkler system and irrigation system in it. Trying to get a little better lighting. Okay, there we go. Did have an irrigation system in it, which was nice. It did still work, so that was good. The backyard did not. And so we knew that there were some things that we needed to get done in the yard. When we first moved here, we knew that we wanted to get some grass growing. This house was built in 1959, so my original instinct and goal was to really make this more of a retro style home. It is a ranch style, so it's longer. And I wanted beautiful grass. I wanted beautiful grass out back. So that's what we did. We planted out front as we moved here in July. So we did get some planting going, and we got the sprinkler system moving. We got the tree down. We got a sprinkler system out back, irrigation system out back, so we could start planting grass. And we did that. And it was gorgeous. We have beautiful, beautiful grass. We knew we still wanted to garden a little bit, but we were used to what we knew, which was just a little bit of, piddling, that I call it. So we built just a 4x8 bed on the south wall, which is our fence to the alley. And we grew all kinds of stuff in that bed. As tiny as it seems now, it was huge for us at the time. So we did that for a while. We planted some fruit trees. My husband's always been into birds, so we had some of our pigeon cages because he would do some racing. And then we had an old bird coop that we weren't using, so we literally flipped that upside down, put it on our west wall, filled it with soil, and used that. And I grew all kinds of herbs out of that thing. It was prolific. It was beautiful. We put some tomato plants in there, and we just had a ball. We loved it. So then we fast forward a little bit further. We've obviously over this time planted some fruit trees now. We're probably around 2015, and we decided we wanted a chicken coop. So we built that, and this is kind of where the kickoff was. So we built a small chicken coop with a little run for them. We had like 3 or 4 chickens. As we tour over the next few videos, I'll show you a little bit more details of exactly where their run went. But we had a long, probably 20-foot run that went into a fenced off area that we were trying to, do some compost. So they would till and poop and do all the fun things in that for us, and helped us then supply to our garden. Then if we continue, our kids are growing. One of our daughters had already moved out. We have 3 children. After we had moved here in 2013, around 2015 and 2016, the other 2 were in the process of considering and in the process of moving out. So they did that. And then Ed and I had decided, well, what the heck are we going to do now? So we decided to increase our garden space. We took the one side yard that I'll show you here later, not the one behind me. That's one came on much later, but the one on the other side of the house, on the east side of the house. And we put one, two, three, four, five, 6 beds there. So we cleared out all the space up to a shed that we had, and we put 6 beds in there. Some were a little bigger, some were a little smaller, but they all averaged about that 4x8 type bed. And we started planting and growing in there. Had lots of failures, had lots of successes. Had an amazing tomato harvest that year, that summer, and just had a lot of fun with it. You know, it was a lot of hard work. Built a beautiful arch entering into it, the gate. And my husband put a lot of manual labor into it. I helped where I could, and then we did that for a long while, and we loved it. And I wanted to get better. I wanted to understand gardening. I wanted to understand growing. I wanted to understand plants better. So I came across through the cooperative extension of the University of Arizona to become a certified master gardener and take a course and do that. And I did that in, oh gosh, 2009, no, 2021, 2021. So I did that in that spring, and then that fall, Ed decided he also wanted to do it, so he did his. And then we went through and mentored for a while as the classes went through. We helped and led a lot of the discussion groups. So we did that for a couple of years, continued to garden with what we were doing. We had on here this side, not the part that you're seeing here, but over just a little bit here, earlier, probably in 2019, 2018, we had taken out a deck that we had built and we turned it into an in-ground garden. We wanted to try and do some in-ground gardening. My goal, my thought was my west garden that we had built with the raised beds would be more like a kitchen garden. It would have my herbs, it would have my fresh fruit and vegetables that I could pull from at any time. And then I wanted my in-ground garden to be more like a market garden, very distinct, clear rows, growing for production as quick as I could, to turn it out and preserve and put that food up. And the first year we did that garden, it worked, the in-ground garden, it worked really well. We had laid down some drip tape. I planted all of the winter, excuse me, the winter vegetables that we do, you know, the broccolis, the cauliflowers, the cabbage. We did that. They turned out beautiful. We grew beautiful pumpkins on a trellis over there. So it was really wonderful. But as time went on, we decided we weren't tending to it as much as we needed to. And we had decided that in-ground gardening was just not something that we were as interested in as we thought. So every year, as we've been in this house, in the fall through the winter, we start planning on what spring project we want to do. And if that is doing something in the home, a renovation, if it's something outside, getting something done in the garden or the yard or whatever. So we had decided then in fall of 2022 that we were going to take our in-ground garden and convert it to raised beds. But we were also going to, as you can see, this fence here used to be back closer to the house. We were going to push our fencing out so that we could use this here. Where I'm sitting currently is in what traditionally would be a garage, and we closed in with a garage door but left this side open so I could still see through the kitchen window and see the garden. You'll see more tours, detailed tours as we go through this. So we had already planned on building this out and extending our grow space tremendously. Again, our goal was now at this point for ourselves and strictly for ourselves to be as much of an urban homestead as we could. We knew we wanted to grow as much, if not all, of our own produce. It was a passion we had prior to 2020, but 2020 really just, I think, just lit a little bit more of a fire for us. So that was our goal. We were going to grow as much produce and everything that we could. We also then had changed part of our front yard, the side yard, where we needed to reconfigure any way to park our trailer. We wanted to plant some more fruit trees and stuff over there. So this was already in the plans at the end of 2022. We were already laying it out, planning it, starting some of the tear down and the construction of it. And then in 2023, as we were getting ready to start, we had started some of it, in that March, April time frame. I found out in May that I was going to be being laid off by August. So, although that was obviously scary, hurtful, um, we did a lot of praying and processing. And we thought, okay, we have a passion of gardening. We have space to grow our garden and grow a ton of food out of. So I decided that I was going to start my business, which is GREENbriar Urban Gardens, and I was going to start selling produce. Was my original thought, and we thought we would then start to learn about microgreens and grow microgreens and sell at farmers markets. So we did that. I did a lot of research. We both did a lot of research about microgreens. We got a extra room that we had here in the house set up for growing. We got this build done that you can see behind me. Started planting so that we could start harvesting. And in January of 2024, matter of fact, January 13th of 2024, we started our first farmers market. We were able to harvest from our garden. Not a ton. I mean, we weren't a huge farm that was bringing a ton of produce to the market, but we brought as much as we could. We had extended our chicken coop before at that time. In 2020, we had extended that. So we had quite a few chickens. We were going to sell chicken eggs and the microgreens. And we did that. And we did great. And we loved it. We loved it so much. And we did that through the spring. But as the spring moved on, we realized I don't know that I can grow and supply myself, my family, and a farmer's market out of my garden. I don't know that that's what I want to do. So we continued with the microgreens and the eggs. I decided that he would like to move into quail. We felt that quail was a pretty strong market for quail eggs. And then I started my sourdough journey. So I started baking sourdough for the markets. Again, going through this whole journey and changing some of the things that we did in our markets and here on our urban homestead are still our mission. Our goal is to help and educate people to know that you can do this from a small scale where we started to where we are now. You can grow your own food. You don't have to live on a farm to do so. So we continued that. I started getting, the sourdough. We started selling that. We started doing that. Um, we did the quail eggs. And then we started gardening starts. So I would start selling gardening starts. Started sharing my passion of houseplants and exotic houseplants with our market in our garden. I mean, our market at the farmers markets. So we did that, and so now here we are in summer. Well, yes, yeah, I guess we're summer of 2025. Our mission is still the same. Our mission and goal is still to help and educate anybody that is wanting to grow, learn how to preserve their own food, learn how to make sourdough. I sell my sourdough starter also at the markets. And that's really what my passion is. I decided it's taken me probably, a little year and a half to really feel and figure where I want to take my knowledge and my passion and be able to share it and grow this business. And here's where I am. I want to continue to do videos for you all as I have successes and failures in my own garden, as I troubleshoot, as I plan, as I grow in our garden. I want you to see that. I want to share that with you. We also, in here in the near future, will be offering consulting services. So we can, share that more with you as we get there. We will still continue the farmers markets because we love talking to everybody and being there. So we will be offering our gardening plant starts. Fall will be a big launch for us for that. We currently are offering and selling a lot of our house plants at the markets now. I will continue currently with my sourdough production and selling our sourdough and my sourdough starter. I do want to offer some videos that I've been asked by many customers. So I thank you for your trust in me. and be doing some videos around sourdough and sourdough making, not making it very complicated. I share that a lot with our customers. Sourdough does not have to be complicated. So I want to share those things with you all. I want you all to realize that wherever you are in your life, in your journey, that doing something as small as even just in a little whiskey barrel like behind me and growing something there and making your own home food, home cooked food, is possible, right? It doesn't have to take a ton of time. I think that's where people get a lot of tripped up. Is sourdough takes too much time. Cooking from scratch takes too much time. Preserving takes too much time. Gardening takes too much time. I don't have a green thumb. All those things are just myths, and I want to hopefully here at this channel, in our markets, and any consulting services that I may offer to help people realize that you can do as much as you would like to do. You don't have to do it at the capacity that we're doing. You can do it at a small scale. I tell everybody that, whatever you do is better than doing nothing. So I encourage you all to continue to watch our channel. I encourage you to reach out to us, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, here on YouTube. I am trying to get better at TikTok. I thank you for your patience. Social media has been a little bit of a challenge for me, but I promise to continue to get better and more comfortable with it. We're going to be building out our website a little bit better. I plan on adding some blogging. So there's just a lot going on here, and there's so much that you can do in the city limits. It's your urban home. And again, you don't have to live on a farm. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. I look forward to sharing more. I plan on doing videos right now, at least once a week. I hope to get better at it and do a little bit more, but we're going to shoot for once a week right now. My next video, I'm going to take you on a walking tour of the property. So that one will be a little bit longer, but I plan on walking the property and just kind of pointing out some of the things that we just discussed. But I did want to just put this one out there, reintroduce myself. Hope that you guys are as excited about this process and this journey as I am. And I want to thank you. I want to bless you. And I can't wait to see you and talk to you guys more. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this journey with us. God bless you and see you soon.